Hey guys, welcome to Coding Wizards. My name is Akash Sharma and I have 7 years of experience in Android and Flutter development. So in this video we will learn about Flutter State Management, more about the native solutions. What are the ways available in the native Flutter without using any external library? How many ways are there through which we can manage the state in the Flutter app? So we have a total of 3-4 options, and with the combination of these we have 6 examples or 6 examples through which we will see how we can update the screen more efficiently, so without using any third-party library. So we will also talk about each of the libraries like GitX, block provider. What are these libraries, what are the things that they are using internally. So in this video we will first learn about the available ways, then we will see the examples how we can implement our own state management solutions, or we can create our own. So let's run this app so that we get the dashboard screen where we have options listed for all these screens. So basically in this video we have default code, we have dashboard. So here we have mostly 5 ways through which we can update the state. So first one is simple, like setState. We all use the default code that we get in the Flutter app. It also uses setState. So this is not a very efficient or optimized way to manage the state in the Flutter. So it is for the widgets, not for the whole screen. So first one is a setState and a stateful widget. Second one is a ValueNotifier with value listenable builder. So this is something that we can use in small scale apps. Then we have ChangeNotifier and AnimatedBuilder. So these are the combinations that we use. Like when we use setState, we get the setState only inside the stateful widgets. So whenever we use ValueNotifier, we must observe the changes using the value listenable builder. Similarly, we have ChangeNotifier with AnimatedBuilder. Then we have a stream with the StreamBuilder. Then we have future with FutureBuilder. Then there is a one more like a special kind of widget through which we can propagate parent data to the child down the tree efficiently. So that is InheritedWidget. So in this video we will see all the ways through which we can manage state natively without using any external library. So you get the confidence that whenever in the interview there is a question related to state management, you know about all the available options. So let's see the first setState example. So here we have setState example screen. So here we can see this one. So this is the default code that we get whenever we create a new project. So this one. So I have copied pasted the same so that you get the better understanding how these things works. So here we have a stateful widget. So whenever we extend using extend from a stateful widget, we get the create state method through which we can define another class which extend the state, and we can pass the state like set state screen. So this class will be holding a state of this screen. So this method will create this one, and then whenever the screen is rendered, then this build method is triggered. So whatever we write inside the build will be displayed on the screen, and whenever we call the setState method, the build method will be executed again and again. Let's say let's add a print method here so that we see the behavior also. Right, build method executed. So by this you can understand that whenever you call setState, whole screen, like whatever state this class is holding, this will be re-rendered. So because it is a main screen, so we are calling setState on the main screen class, so the whole screen will be refreshed. So let's see quickly, look at here. Okay, so let's see the output. So this is the first time when build method is triggered. Then when we press the plus button, it has triggered the build method again. Whenever we click this button, each time this log is getting printed, because whenever we call whenever we click this button, let's see the button where it is. So here the floating action button. So we have passed a function to this on pressed method. So inside the function we are calling setState and increasing the counter value. So whenever we call setState, this build method is triggered. So each time we are like, we are getting the log printed in the log console. So let's say we have some list on the top, horizontal list, then we have some images, then we have a lot of list items in the list, vertically scrolling list, and let's say we have some scenario where we press a button like this one, and we want to update some small part of screen, and we are using this this way of updating the screen. So whenever we click this button, screen is getting updated, but each time whenever we press this button, the build method is getting executed, and in turn it will render whole scaffold, like it will render horizontal screen, render all the like banners, headers, all the items inside the list also. So this is not a recommended way to use setState. setState is meant to be used for a smaller widget, like when we create a custom widgets, inside that we can use setState to update only that widget, not the whole screen. So this is the example of setState. Let's move to the next example. We have, so this is the first example of setState. Then we have parent child relationship kind of. So here we are also using setState, but we are using inside a like we are creating a custom widget. Like this is example of how we can create our own widget and how we can update value inside a child widget from a parent widget. So whenever we create a custom widget, rule of thumb is never like modify data inside the child widget directly. Like whenever, like we in this example we have option like a counter variable, then we have a function. So in the constructor we have passed like we have passed the count and on increment. Whenever we create object of this, these two things will be required. So whatever value we want to show inside this widget, it will be passed from outside, and whatever action or button has been given inside this widget, it will pass click to the parent widget, whatever widget is calling this. So this way we can reuse this widget anywhere inside whole app. This is not dependent on the data or any controller. Many times people do like they pass the controller directly inside the widget, so that widget cannot be reused on any other screen, because the controller that we have passed inside that will belong to a particular screen, not the like all the screens. So that's why it is a recommended way to pass the data from the outside to the widget. And also if there are any events, like in this scenario we have on increment event, so we are adding a void callback function which will be triggered whenever we press the button, and whatever action we want to perform on this, we can perform from the parent. We don't need to modify the count directly inside this widget. So this is the example of like lifting state up to the like whatever widget is calling this. So in the compose it is called state hoisting. So we are not holding like creating any state directly inside the child. We are passing state from the outside and passing all the callbacks to the parent. So this is the example. So in this scenario we have a stateful widget, then we have a state. Inside that we have created a increment function. Inside that we are calling setState and count. It is same as the previous one, just it is a shorthand for like we are using arrow function instead of full body function. So we can write a single line statement inside that. So it will do the same thing, just that we are like creating a component, like creating our own stateless widget. So whenever we plus the increment button, we are passing the function. This function is defined here, and here we can see that it is doing the same thing that we have seen already in the first example. So in this case also it is calling setState. This will trigger this method, this will render whole scaffold. So in this example my intention was to make you understand how we can create custom widgets and do not make mistake of like modifying the data internally inside this widget. Send callback to the parent, and parent will act accordingly and will provide the updated data to the widget. So this is the example of state hoisting, like the term used in the compose, and we can use this term in the Flutter also, but it is not very popular term for the Flutter. So let's see the next example, ValueNotifier. This one is interesting because this is the kind of thing that mimics the behavior of live data in the Android or use effect state that like in the React or React.js web apps. So there we have use effect where we create a state and we have two functions, set state, get state. So that kind of thing. But instead of creating two functions, we can observe that directly like live data in the Android. So here we have ValueNotifier screen. So here we are creating an object of ValueNotifier where we can define the data type that it will hold. If we go inside that, so it has a t type variable that it will hold. So here if we see we are extending from the ChangeNotifier and implementing value listenable, so that we can use value listenable builder to observe the changes. So this is the way we create a observable variable. So here the syntax is ValueNotifier, whatever, like if we want to hold the value type of string, we can name it, like give it a string, and here we can also string, and inside that we can give it a string value. So since in this example we are holding integer value, so we have defined the data type here, and counter is observable, so we are making it ValueNotifier. So this is how we create a observable variable. So in this example, whenever we want to use this, so we use value listenable builder, and here also we define what type of value it will be like observing. So here in this example, like we have int, so we have defined int here. If we pass some other value here like string, it will show error that counter is not type of string, cannot be assigned. So this thing, the whatever type of variable this one is, the same should be given here. So this is a widget with the like ChangeNotifier and listenable builder. So here we have provided the variable that will be observed, and it will give a builder so that we can build our widget. So in this case we have used arrow function, and we have simply returned a text widget. So we have added the count here. Whatever value it will be holding, we are just adding to the text. So and other thing, how we are updating the counter like this one. So in this simply since we are using stateless, we don't have setState method, but we have a listenable observable variable. So inside that we get a value. Whenever we want to read value from this counter, we simply write counter dot value, and it will return the value current value of this variable. So similarly here we have got the value and simply adding the plus plus, and instead of this we can also write like this plus 1 like this. Like this. So we are adding 1 to the like existing value. If it is holding 0, then we are adding 1, so it will become 1. So same thing. So in this scenario, when we press the count button, count is increasing. Let's add a print statement to see if it is rendering the whole screen or just a part of widget. Build executed, and so first time the build is executed, this method has been executed whenever we launch the screen for the first time. Then we click plus, the count has increased, but this log is not in the console. So whenever we keep on pressing this, but the build is not getting executed again and again, unlike the previous example. So only this part, this builder will be executed. The builder will be triggered again and again whenever the value of this variable changes, because this builder is observing this variable. Whenever this state will change, this will trigger the builder. So this is how we can use value listenable builder. So I use it generally for like a small scale app where we have very set of screens and don't want to like add a lot of libraries, external libraries to manage the state, because there are only 2-3 screens and there are like only a small very smaller number of kind of data that we can render on the screen. So we are not using some like getX block provider. Then in that case we can use ValueNotifier with the value listenable builder. So this is the example. It can be used in any app, like a small scale or large scale. It can be used for like checkbox or radio buttons or drop downs. So any part of a screen we can use that. So it is efficient than the setState, because it is like whenever value of this variable will be like changed, will be updated, only this thing will be re-rendered, not the whole scaffold. So if we have multiple type of these things, like we have multiple value notifiers, we can simply add like column here and remove this. We can just duplicate and add another variable here, then update value here, then add another here, update here. And even if we want to like update this one with like 2 states, then we can wrap it inside another value listenable builder. Builder value listenable builder. Then we have this one here. So here we can add value 1, here it is value 2, so here value 1. Then we can add another variable, or like for example we are using the same. Let's say we have counter to here and we can observe counter to here. So this way we will be able to access value 1 also, value 2 also. Let's print value 1 first, then second. So this is the way how we can do, we can combine these things with existing state management libraries. So let's remove this. So let's keep this so that you get the, like whenever we click, because this value, the counter and this counter is same, so value 1 in both the cases is same, and we are not updating the value 2, so that is why it is still 0. So let's see the next example, ChangeNotifier. So in this example you have seen that ValueNotifier internally extending from the ChangeNotifier. Let's see what ChangeNotifier is. So this is ChangeNotifier screen. So in this example we have stateless, so we don't have access to set state. So in this example we have created our like data class, kind of like you can say, because it is implementing listenable, so it is not, it is a mix in, so we can name it like data class or something that holds the state or data. So here we have counter ChangeNotifier, where we have a data and a function to increase the value of this. So inside this, whenever we increase the, whenever we change the value, we call notify listener, so that whatever widget is observing this data can get the callback, like to let the other widgets know that the counter's value has changed. So that's why we call notify listener. So it is coming from the ChangeNotifier class. So we are extending from this, so we get the this method. So rest of the things are same. Here we are adding observing the changes using the AnimatedBuilder, because if you hover on this, it needs a listenable object. So inside this you see that it implements listenable, so we can use the AnimatedBuilder here. So inside this we are adding that observe the counter. Here we have created a counter data like change not whatever we have defined, we are creating object, then passing this object to this AnimatedBuilder. And whenever the in the previous example, whenever we want to read the value of the ValueNotifier, we use dot value. Inside this we have the object of a simple class, then we can access the in like variables using dot count or dot whatever variable is like directly. So in this variable, in this example, we have counter. So we have given counter to the builder, so that it can observe, and we are reading the value from this variable. So we have added it in the text. And how we are updating the state. So inside that we have a increment function. We are, whenever we press the add button, we just call this method. So it will increase the value and notify listeners. So whenever it is called, so AnimatedBuilder will know that value of this class has changed, so it will trigger this one. So let's see. And inside this also we will add a build method. Let's add a print statement, print log, not the build executed. Then we have updated. So build has, like this method has been executed for the first time. Then whenever we click on plus, value has increased, but this isn't executed. So it is efficient. Like this is the another example how we can avoid set state. So this is the way this can be used for like large number of data set, like we have a list or multiple values. So we can use this approach, like we have counter, we have list, we have images, then we can create a simple data holder ChangeNotifier. Then we can observe using the AnimatedBuilder, and like for the first list on the top we can create one, for the banners we can create one, and for the vertical list we can create one. So we will have 3 animated builders and 3 change notifiers. So this is the second way how we can manage the state efficiently without using any external library. So I hope these things are making sense you. If you haven't watched my previous videos on Dart basics or Flutter widgets, please do watch, because without them you won't be able to understand a lot of things. So we have seen the example of change notifier. Let's see the StreamBuilder. So rest of the things like builder pattern, so once you get the idea of about one, the rest of will be the same, little bit differences. Let's see the builder. So instead of like creating our own custom change notifier, we are creating a StreamBuilder. So in this we have a stream controller. So this will hold a value, and we can like emit data simultaneously, like multiple times, like getting chat messages, like real time chatting. We can, that kind of thing we can do using the stream controller. So it emits state continuously, and whatever builder is like observing on this, it will be notified. So here we have a stream controller. We are holding a state of like type int. We named it controller. You can name it whatever you want. Then we have, this is the way we create a stream controller. So we have broadcast method. So inside this, it is also a stateless. We are not using setState. We have created a count variable. So basically in this example we are creating inside the build method, but when we create a full-fledged production level app, we create dedicated controller for each screen, and inside that we create all these things, like whatever variables we want to make, we make inside the controller, not inside the widget. Widget like screen's responsibility is only to render data provided by controller on the screen, and whatever input is like user is interacting with the widget, its responsibility is to pass events to the controller, and controller will decide what to do that with those events. So simple, don't create variables inside the screen, always create these variables inside the like controller, because in this part we don't have any state management. So either we can use mix-ins, so lesser the code better. So if we write if I would have written a lot of files, it would make you like it will be confusing for you. So to keep things simple, I have just written it here so that you get better understanding of managing the state. We will talk about these things like where to create these things like data, where to hold, how we can communicate between controller and screen. So all these things will be covered in detail in the coming videos. So in this example we have created a stream controller. So here we have a stream builder, and we have provided the stream like controller.stream. It will observe on this. We have given the count initial data. Actually we have like this thing is not holding anything, like we are just like saying that hey, this is a like person which will transfer data from one place to another place and will forget the data, like it will not hold any data on its own, like it is not, it is just a stream when like creating a multiple type of listeners, like we can add, observe kind of things. So inside this stream builder will observe on this. We have given the default data initial data to the stream builder, that hey, this is the data, initial data, so that builder can build the widget, like can provide the data. So in this inside this we have two things, build context and the snapshot. Snapshot.data will return the data that will be provided by the stream controller. So in the like plus button, whenever this plus button is clicked, we are simply increasing the count of this, then passing same variable to, like it is similar to the live data or state flow in the Android, like Android Java or Kotlin, it is available in the both. So we have controller.sync. Sync, we will add new data. So we have added a new data, so it will be like added and notified. So it is a, do we have implementation here? So like these functions will be used internally by the StreamBuilder, like adding the listeners and getting the callbacks. So whatever data will pass, we will pass inside this, it will be provided here like this snapshot.data. So reason behind creating the extra variable, if we give it like 0, and here we like controller.sync.add, here either, let's see, we get the controller dot, do we have data? No, it is not returning the pre. Do we have here get stream dot close? No, stream dot so here we don't have actually, so that's why to get the previous value we are storing this inside a variable, so that we can pass it to the sync, that updated value. So let's see the example. So whenever we click on this, so same thing, the build won't be triggered, only this part will be rebuilt. So whenever we click this part will be updated, not the whole screen. So this is the example of StreamBuilder. So it is useful where we have continuous events from like passing from a screen to the controller or controller to the screen, or like whenever we use socket, we can use this to hold the new chat messages and observe on the screen, like on the screen. So this is the example of StreamBuilder. So last one is the InheritedWidget. So it is a little bit difficult to understand, but let's see if you able to understand this InheritedWidget. So here we have InheritedWidget. It is a stateful, because inside this we are using a setState to update the state of the screen, but InheritedWidget is something that provides data to the, like down the tree. Like if we have a parent, inside that we have another child, inside that we have another child. So we, instead of manually passing data from 1 to second to third, we can directly define some data on the parent, then inside the child we can directly get that data without passing directly, using the context, because context is something that will provide the location of the visit. So in the interviews, it is the most commonly asked question, that what is the build context. So build context stores like what is the location of widget, who is the owner, what is the visit, whether it is mounted or not, whether mounted means whether it is visible on the screen. So it helps in finding the render object, it has the size. So these are the things that context is holding. So do learn about these things, that what is the build context. So simply handle a handle to the location of a widget in a widget tree. So it provides the information about the widget's location in the widget tree. So here we have created the InheritedWidget. Inside that we have extended from InheritedWidget, which is extending from proxy widget, which is extending from visit. So ultimately it is a visit. So inside that we have a variable counter. Then whenever we extend from InheritedWidget, we must pass the data, like we must pass the child, because we don't have the build method inside this, so we cannot return some widget from this. So we must provide widget from outside. So we have a super.child so that we can provide it a visit. Then we have created a visit for this part of the screen, so it is a stateless widget, and inside that we are saying that we need counter data from the context. So if this screen, like this widget tree, has some state of counter data, like inherited widget has been initialized on the top of this widget, so we can find that data from the context. So this is the simple way to get the data from the parent if parent is a inherited widget. So whatever state it is holding, we get that. So we got the data which is a counter data, and if it is a counter data, then we can access the count variable. So simply data dot count. So there is nothing else inside that. Okay, so this is for the inherited widget, and let's see how we can use these things with combined. So here we have scaffold, simple, we have counter data, this. So whenever we use this, its parents or parents should be a inherited widget, because if there is no inherited widget, who will provide the data like this one. So here we have counter data where we are giving it a count like this one. It is same like in the previous example, we are creating the state from outside, because here we are updating not the inside the widget. We can also add that logic with the ValueNotifier, ChangeNotifiers. So here we have counter data where we have provided the value, so it is a 0 initially. Then we have passed the actual widget that will be rendered on screen. So we have passed the counter child like this one. So it has a build method, it has a text. So this widget will be rendered on screen. Then we have on pressed dot increment. So whenever this button is being clicked, we are calling this method. This is just increasing the value of this. So in this case, since we are using setState, so it will update the state, like re-render the whole this build method. When build method will be triggered, then we will provide the updated value of the count. So counter data will hold the updated value of count, and when this child will be built inside that, whenever we get the data from the context, it will update the updated data. So this is the way to pass the data down the tree using inherited widget. So these are all the ways natively available in the Flutter through which we can update the state of a screen in the Flutter app. So I think these things are clear, and you can get this code on my GitHub repository Flutter course. I will add the links in the description for this repository. You can simply check out Flutter State Management branch to get this code exactly written here. So let's commit this so that you can get this one. So in the next class, so this is the most important first most important class, in which we have talked about all the ways how we can manage the app state without using any external library. So you get the confidence that yes, I know all the ways how we can update the state in the Flutter app without using any external library. So there is one thing I missed. So what are the things that are being used by state management libraries from these? So provider uses InheritedWidget plus ChangeNotifier. So we have seen the example of this. InheritedWidget provides data down the tree. ChangeNotifiers like have custom data class which holds the data and we notify listeners. So provider used these two things. RiverPod use custom containers based on like value notifier streams. Like we have seen value notifier with the value listener builder and stream with StreamBuilder. So these things are used by RiverPod, and a custom like wrapper created some our own logic by like RiverPod, that how he like they manage the state. Then block uses the stream and stream controller. So they have like whenever we create a block, we use the block in the state management. Those who know can get idea that whenever we emit the states, they are observed inside the screen emitted from the block. So this is the continuous emission of the events. So for that they are using stream and stream controller. Then we have qubit, they are like value notifier kind of thing. So simple observing like observable variables. Then we have getX. So getX also uses custom value list notifier and global dependency injection. So they have like it is a simple and yet powerful state management library which is used like most commonly used by beginners, also by advanced like developers. I also use getX in most of my projects. I have used block and provider, never used RiverPod or qubit. So I use getX. It is a like very like flexible with the like implementation. We can use it in many ways. We get like navigation system, we get state management, we get offline like persisted storage like get storage, we get networking library, get connect. It has a lot of things. So that's why I prefer this, because it provides flexibility how I use this. So there are a lot of ways how getX can be used. We will talk about those things when we talk about getX library. I will make dedicated videos for getX, block, and I think maybe RiverPod or provider, we will see. But we will cover getX in very detail. So we will learn all the available things, and we will see the multiple ways how we can use getX. So these are the ways, like these are the things that are internally used by popular state management libraries. So I think that's all for this video, and in next video we will see, I think I haven't committed. So we will see the navigation. So how we can navigate from one screen to another screen, how we can pass data from one to another, how we can get the data from another screen to first screen. And there are multiple ways how we can navigate from one to another. There are named routes, there are material widgets, material route builder, and we have widget route builder also. So there are a lot of ways we can navigate. So we will see all the ways, so that you get the confidence that this is all that is available inside the Flutter. So this will build the confidence. So I think that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.